Boys, welcome back. Today we're breaking down the G code, right? The G code is a certain principles that you should live by as a man, in my opinion, to live a fulfilling and purposeful life, right? Have that peak human experience. When you say what you're going to do and you live to a certain standards in life, there's a certain integrity and respect and honor that actually comes with that, which makes you super powerful as a guy, because you know what you say will actually happen and you will correspond to what your wording is. And I'm going to break down this code for you. At the end of the day, you should live by a moral code within your mind. You don't have to write it out and put it out there, but you should have some morals in your mind so you don't get yourself into trouble. I remember back in the day where I would have mates who would literally cross each other and snake each other when they've been mates for so many years, and go across each other's backs and dog each other and literally backstab each other. And that comes because that specific person wasn't living by a certain code in their head. They got lost in the sauce. Now, when you're lost in the sauce and you're over here, you're like a kite in the wind. Being a kite in the wind is never going to get you anywhere. You need to have a certain code and live by a certain amount of principles to have a good, fulfilling life, in my opinion, and feel good in your heart. And that is where, you know, true, I think, masculine excellence actually comes from, is like when you live by that code and you are authentically yourself. It's super important. So let's run through it. First one is loyalty. You gotta be a loyal motherfucker at the end of the day. You gotta have people's backs. They gotta know if they're with you, like you're never going to cross them because you fuck with them. Now, if you're in a group right now where you feel like you don't belong and there is no loyalty in the group, it's because you haven't found your group yet. And you probably should remove yourself, go in isolation, and then go find a group that actually does resonate with you, where you do have that loyalty. Because loyalty is important. There's no reason why your mate shouldn't be super loyal to you, and you shouldn't have brothers by your side who will back you 100% because of the type of person you are, right? And that's also with yourself. Like, don't be loyal to yourself. Don't break promises to yourself when you say something. Be loyal to the fucking game. Number two is discipline. You have to be disciplined in some aspects. I remember back in the day when I wasn't a disciplined person, my life was in shambles. I literally didn't know what the fuck was going on because I didn't have any discipline to myself. And as a guy, I think you must have discipline to uphold a certain standard in your life, right? And this should be with gym, this should be with like food, this should be like going for a run, or this should be like, you know, mandatory, you must do work each and every day that you can't get around because that's in your head and you're disciplined to actually make that happen. There's a certain power that comes from that. Number three, integrity, right? Live your life with integrity, build everything. What you say you're going to do it. And when you follow through with things in your life, what happens is there's a certain trust that gets put in your head that you know what you say will actually happen. But not only that, the people in the external world will also see that and know that you don't fuck around. And there's a certain respect that actually comes from that, and honor, because whatever you say and whatever you do actually will get done. Number four is freedom. You should be working towards freedom as a man. And look, if you're in like a job where it's not a freedom-based job, like for example, a construction job, or like, you know, you're working at a restaurant or something, but you actually like that, become the restaurant owner, right? Start a construction company, because it is a longer term game than the online business space. However, you may put in, you know, 5-10 years, and then you could actually step back from that, and now you've actually got your freedom and flexibility. Apart from that, get into online business. Online business is going to give you the freedom and flexibility to fly around, do what you want, do what the fuck you want. I'm in the Bali at the moment. I've been traveling for the last year and a half. That's because online business allowed me to do that. Having freedom, there's a certain power that comes with that as a guy, and you can almost, you almost like are looking into the system, because it's like normal people have to go to work to make money, but you don't, because you are valuable enough where you can do online transactions and have a skill set that will allow you to actually travel. Now that is fucking power as a guy. That is actually power that you hold on to. You have a certain value now, because most guys can't do that. So work towards freedom. Whether that be a brick and mortar business or either that be an online business, start working towards where you have control and you're not the 9-to-5er. You're not the person who's going to get in the trench getting told what to do, what I used to do, and the person I used to be. Number five is brotherhood. You need brotherhood. You need some loyal motherfuckers, a few bad motherfuckers by your side, to be able to actually conquer with, because there's going to be times where things get hard and you're never going to be able to do everything just with the lone wolf mindset. You're going to need brothers and people by your side who have the same values, same grind, same energy and want to do the same thing, right? Because that creates a powerhouse. And when one person, you know, has doubts or limiting beliefs or doesn't think they can do anything, your brother fucking picks you up and he goes, hey, motherfucker, hey, we can actually do this together. Stop stressing, right? And that masculine energy that you get from that is super powerful. So you need to find your circle and people who you resonate with, right? Everyone's going to be a little bit different in terms of the type of person they are. Me, I'm a more masculine type of guy, right? I've always been like that. I've always been like a driver. I've always been a person who's super motivated, goal driven. There's other people who are a little bit more like sit back, right? And that's totally fine. You know, you got to find your people. And sometimes, like, you know, having the best of both worlds of a driver and person who sits back and maybe like, you know, thinks about things is even good, because you got yin and yang. So it's finding your group and finding your people, but you need fucking brothers by your side to be able to conquer and do great things. Number 7, legacy. I honestly think everybody should be leaving a legacy behind, because you have one life, one singular life. And if you're not leaving something here in the world, you haven't put any footprint in the world. It's like you just existed in people's minds and then disappeared and died. Like, to me, that just, it doesn't seem right. It's like, leave your footprint, your digital footprint, especially in digital world, in this world. So when you do have grandkids or when you do have things in the future, like, they can actually see this shit and they can be like, fuck, he was a sick cunt. He was a G, bro. Like, what a mad guy. Like, he fucking was posting videos, he was doing this, he was pushing for goals, he was creating businesses, he was being his best self, he was training. Like, there's a fucking lot of power in that. I think every guy should be leaving legacy and having something left behind for, you know, their kids or their grandkids, and having something online and being that fucking guy. Number 8 is honor. Right? At the end of the day, you need to have honor as a guy. Do you want to like die with honor, or do you want to die as a drone, like a coward, someone who didn't, you know, never lived up to his potential, or someone who said something but never did it, or treated people fucking shit, or, you know, didn't do great things? Like, do you want to be that guy, or do you want to live an honorable life where it's going to push you to that next level? And part of that is hard, because you need to keep your word. You need to be have integrity. You need to you know, respect people. You need to be a loyal motherfucker. You need to have a brotherhood. So all of this, and all of you being your best self and trying and taking risks and getting outside your comfort zone, that's where that honor comes from. And when you have some success and you break through some barriers in your life, that honor, it builds up in your mind and you get super confident as a guy. And that is where peak human experience is, in my opinion. When you're basically living your life in honor and you don't care what the fuck happens, you're just going to get the job done and you're going to be your best self throughout the whole process, so you can, you know, live a great existence, right? The G code is basically a code where it holds you together as a man. You need to be held together, because when you have principles in your life, you won't cross them principles because it doesn't make sense. Even if you're going to get short-term gain, you know, the long-term game by holding yourself by these principles are going to give you way more satisfaction, way more respect, and it will work out better long-term, right? There's times where people will snake each other, cross each other's back, go against their word, because these people aren't confident themselves. These people don't have the fucking dog in them. These people aren't about it, bro. If you're about it and you want to be a G, like, a G is someone who's honorable, respectful, you know, has that integrity, you know, looks after people, is a gentleman. Like, that is where the true power is as a masculine guy. And that's where you should be, and that's how you should live your life. Being a G isn't just like aerating and like, you know, trying to be a showy guy. It's how you move, how you operate as a guy, how you operate as a man, and how you want to be, right? Do you want to live your life in a good way? Or do you want to be that guy who was a drone and never tried his best and didn't live up to his potential? The choice is yours. At the end of the day, there's more better life this way. It's just a lot more harder work, right? I hope you boys enjoyed. Hope you had a good one. Had a blast making this. We're in beautiful Bali, and these rice fields are absolutely gorgeous. You have a good day, and I'll catch you boys later.